Assalamu alaikum and Jummah Mubarak, and welcome to today's Friday Reflections on this Friday, the 1st of July 2022. Today, I would like to read to you from this wonderful book by Mawlana Shaykh Hisham Kabbani. And I'm going to read, it's called Banquet for the Soul, and it is published in 2008. And I'm going to read from chapter 3, which is called The Unique Path. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mistakes are our nature. Human nature is built up on mistakes. And if it was not built up on mistakes, then Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam would never have made the mistake of listening to Iblis. That's the devil, as he's called in Arabic, whispering in his ear, after which he ate from the forbidden tree. And Adam alayhi salam was a prophet, but he was pure of sin, ma'asum. So he repented, and Allah forgave him. So our nature is to always be committing sins. That is not part of our essential fitra. For in our nature, God created us perfect and revealed to us that which is good and that which is bad. As Allah says in the Holy Quran, and He inspired us to do the good and to avoid the bad. 91 verse 8. We know we are defective when we realize that we like mistakes. We run towards the bad quickly, and we never run towards the good. That is why we are mistake makers. To eliminate mistakes from ourselves, we must follow a guide. Interesting point here. In the second paragraph, Mawlana Shaykh Hisham is saying, so our nature is always to be committing sins. That is not part of our essential fitra. For in our nature, God created us perfect and revealed to us what is good and what is bad. So you see, you've got our general nature, how we generally are. This is what Mawlana is saying, that is it's that nature to commit sins. But a part of our most essential nature, that is pure. So in our deepest essence, human beings are pure. But as we are born into this world, as we are living, the reality is we are mistake makers. There's a difference between our essential nature and how we generally are. There's different aspects to our nature. This is the point here. Without a guide, it is impossible to learn about our internal natures. Notice Mawlana refers to it as plural there, internal natures. To be able to understand and to change. You can learn the theory, but you will not have the practice. Only with a guide can you practice the reality of taste, of eliminating sins and evil from the self. That is why we see that many wise men would put their followers through severe training in order to teach them the real life of the journey that they asked to follow. And notice, Shaykh Hisham here is putting this plural, wise men. Even in something completely different, you look at Karate Kid, and Mr. Miyagi, he puts him through all of these, it's practice, it's all of these activities. It's actually training, but the Karate Kid doesn't understand. He just thinks he's painting a fence and washing cars. And of course, he is doing that. But at the same time, He's doing a lot more than that as well. And this was all to set the foundation for his business, which has come into the new series, Cobra Kai, where he has a business. But so Mr. Miyagi had his wisdom knowing what he was doing. And there was multiple aspects to his training. And it is a good comparison with the training of a real spiritual guide, because there's often multiple aspects to their training as well. They want people to be successful, not only in Akira, but also successful in this world as well. Because we have to live here, we have to raise families here, we have responsibilities here, which we have to take care of. It's not simply just always thinking Akira, Akira, Akira to the exclusion of our responsibilities, because our responsibilities, fulfilling our responsibilities in this world, are part of getting us to Akira. So we have to be balanced, people. And a properly spiritually trained person can do both. Bayazid's beginning. The example of that difficult journey of following a sheikh in order to guide you on the path is when Bayazid al-Bistami was young and his mother sent him away to study. On the first day in school, the teacher is reciting the verse of Surah Luqman. And we have enjoined on man to be good to his parents. In travail upon travail did his mother bear him, and in 2 years was his weaning. Hear the command, show gratitude to me and to your parents, for to me is your final goal. Here, Luqman was teaching his son that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala advised human beings to look after their parents and to care for them. Here, Allah honored the mother for what she experiences of the difficulties during pregnancy and childbirth. For that reason, men are going to be questioned more than women, for women experience the difficulties of giving birth and raising their children, while men experience only pleasure. They don't experience the difficulties, certainly not in childbirth. Even if a man, balances the parental responsibilities thereafter, none of us have ever had to give birth. As soon as young Bayazid heard this verse, he left the school immediately and went back to his mother. She said to him, "Why are you coming back early?" He said, "I cannot continue now." She asked, "Why? Did the teacher scold you, beat you, or do anything to you?" Bayazid responded, "No." And then he recited the verse from Surah Luqman. He said, "To me, Allah is saying to take care of you. Now I am confused. I don't know what to do." She said, "Why?" He said, "Because Allah mentioned in that surah, and we have enjoined on man to be good to his parents. God is asking me to observe my responsibility toward my parents. And he is also asking me to fulfill my responsibility towards him. Now I have you and I have him, and I cannot be protector to two homes. I only have one heart. I can protect only one place. In today's language, I am not ADT, Advanced Defense Technology, or awliya Defense Technology. I cannot protect two places." He said, "I'm coming to you, O my mother, asking you to release me from my responsibility towards you. Then I will be able to concentrate on my responsibility to my Lord. So ask your Lord on my behalf to release me from my responsibility to you so I can focus on my duties towards him." That is what we call a spiritual state, a hal. He went into that state when he was young. Who can think like that? When she saw that in him, she began to cry. She said, "Oh, my son, I'm releasing you from responsibility towards me. Go in your way and feel free to practice, to protect your house, the house of God, where God said, my sky could not contain me, nor my earth, but the heart of my believing servant contained me. You're right, you cannot divide your attention between two. Your focus must be one. Who among us has had such an experience as Bayazid? He was feeling the magnitude of that responsibility. That is why he did not want to be away from his Lord for even one moment. That is the perfect guide. That is what we need to accompany a perfect guide. You see, Bayazid also, he showed his concern that he recognized the responsibility he had to his mum and went straight back to his mum when he heard in the Quran that Allah said we have a duty to be good to our parents. Today people recite these things and they just recite, they recite. How many of us actually, firstly, when it's recited in Arabic, how many understand? But even when understood, how many take it so seriously they really try to put it into practice? Allah knows best, but something to think about. Look how seriously Bayazid al-Bistami took this. Allah says in the Holy Quran, O you who believe, be pious and accompany trustworthy people. We cannot be like them, but we can accompany them. We cannot be like them, but we can accompany them. That is really, that is what a lot of it's about. It takes a long time. If you're one of those who it is written for to become a wali of Allah, it takes a long time to be that. And the real wali of Allah would never claim it. But we can accompany those who we see those qualities in, that they are like that. You can spend time with them. And if you spend time with people who are better than you, who are closer to Allah than you, who are more knowledgeable than you, something of that will rub off on you. Just as if you spend time with riffraff, something of that will rub off on you. So it's up to you. If you want to be a better person, look for people who are better than you. Look for people who are more educated than you. Look for people who are closer to Allah than you. Spend time with them. And for sure you'll benefit. We cannot be like them, but we can accompany them. From the moment Sayyidina Bayazid al-Bistami was able to direct his heart completely to God, before that he was not able to go seeking his Lord in order to make his mother happy. Who among us seeks to make his or her mother happy? When a young person reaches 16, he says, I am leaving and I'm going to live in dorms. Either 16 or 18. If his mother did not say, I'm releasing you, he would never have left her. Look how much the respect for the mother in the heart of God's friends, the awliya. That is, as the Prophet ﷺ said, paradise lies under the feet of mothers. He knew that if you make your mother happy, and you will end up in paradise. And she knows her responsibility to our Lord also. She will say, go find your way to the Lord. It does not make a mother happy if her child goes to discos and nightclubs. Make her happy by directing yourself to your Lord. dedicated prior to birth. So young Bayazid went in the way of God, like the Virgin Mary, when her mother described in the Quran as the daughter of Imran said, "O my Lord, I do dedicate unto you what is in my room for thy special service. So accept this of me, for you hear and know all things." Then when she delivered her child, Mary, she said, "O my Lord, I have delivered a female child, and Allah knew better what she delivered. And the male is not like the female. And I have named her Mary, and I seek refuge with you, Allah, for her and for her offspring from Shaitan, the outcast." Her mother's name was Hannah bint Kufuda. She made an oath dedicating the child that was in her womb to God's service. Without seeking any payment, she knew that vow was accepted. So when she delivered a girl, she exclaimed in surprise, "I gave birth to a girl." For in those times, only boys were given to the service of God as devotees to the great temple in Jerusalem. Despite this, she fulfilled her vow and gave her child, even though she was a girl, into the service of God. Hannah then took Miriam to stay in the temple with the other devotees, where she would learn and practice with them. Of course, this being the first occasion of a girl being entered in divine service, the rabbis and priests rejected her, but then her uncle, the prophet Zechariah, stepped forward and said he would accept her into trusteeship. So her Lord, Allah, accepted her with goodly acceptance. He made her grow in good manner and put her under the care of Zechariah. Allah made that blessed girl the mother of the Prophet Jesus, alayhi salam. When she grew older, she spent her time in seclusion in a prayer niche. There she received her provision directly, without seeking it, and without any human action. SubhanAllah. Every time he entered the prayer niche to visit her, he found her supplied with sustenance. He would ask, "O Mary, whence come this unto thee?" She would answer, "It is from God. Behold, God grants sustenance unto whom he wills, beyond all reckoning." The commentators of Quran, among the successors, said it means he would find her with fruits of the summer during winter and the fruits of the winter during summer. Very surprising. This was before modern air travel and stuff where you can fly things across the world. Today we're used to it. You can go to the supermarket and you can buy apples in the middle of summer, and you can buy, nuts in the middle of spring and things like this. It's because they come from all over the world. But if you were relying on your own local produce, this would not be possible. So when Sayyidina Bayazid al-Bistami reached that level and obtained his mother's permission to devote himself to the service of his Lord, he was always looking for the best way to make his Lord happy. And to make his Lord happy, he said, "O my Lord, I am coming to your door." At the beginning of his life, he said, "Allah made me to be standing at the door of scholars," for he was a great religious scholar in his early life. He said, "I accompanied the scholars for a long time, and I learned from them every kind of Sharia knowledge until my egoistic self began to tell me, 'Now you have reached the highest level of knowledge, and you don't need more than that.' And you became a Gnostic in the highest level of divine knowledge." As I continued in that ascension of knowledge and Gnosticism, I reached a place where I saw many like myself, standing at the door to the divine presence, waiting for it to open. There were countless scholars and Gnostics, all standing in the same place. He said, it was too crowded before that door, and I could not find a way to reach it through the masses of seekers. The crowd of seekers. That is like when you're at some place and you can see a long queue. You cannot reach the door before closing time. However, there was no queue there. Rather, all of them were crowding in front of that door to be the first to enter. I didn't find a place to put my feet due to their great number. I said it is impossible to get in. What do people do when they find a long queue, a line, or when there is a traffic jam? They look for a back route. Already, that way was filled with a heavy traffic. Many scholars, all of them fighting to reach that door. All of them were like big roosters, strutting like peacocks. We are explaining how to be a perfect sheikh. This leads to the understanding that one must follow a perfect one. Alhamdulillah, that Allah guided us to Mawlana Shaykh Nazim, the perfect guide and waliullah, friend of God. I did not find a way to reach, and I left. I did not reach the divine presence. So I realized that hikmah, wisdom, ilm, knowledge, and marifah, Gnosticism, divine understanding without a reality or a taste in it, is not considered anything, because I was thinking that reality is found in knowledge and endeavor, ijtihad. But what I discovered is that is not the truth, because I found that what I was doing is like what everyone is doing, and still the door was shut with too many seekers standing before it. So I realized I had not reached the truth, a reality of certainty, the knowledge of certainty, the vision of certainty, or the reality of certainty. I knew there must still be another way, so I began to hit the back roads. I found myself following those people who are worshippers, who constantly pray in congregation. Al-Musallin fil Jamaat. They come to every prayer, and I never missed even the opening takbir of my 5 prayers in congregation for a long time. Before the Imam says, Allahu Akbar, I am there 5 times a day. Finally, I had a vision that I am with a huge crowd at a similar door to that of the ulama, scholars of religion, and all were in prostration at that door, and I was in prostration with them, and the door didn't open. And I couldn't find a place to put my head. Now, again, there were too many praying their 5 prayers behind the Imam, standing, bowing, sitting, and making prostration. I found no place to put my head, and I could not enter. When I saw that, I turned away and I left them, knowing I would never reach that door. So I said to myself, I will go with the Saimun, those who fast. So I began to fast every day of the year, when I began to eat and drink with them at iftar, the fast breaking at sunset maghrib, and at the early morning meal, suhoor, before dawn at fajr, until I found myself before the door of the pre-dawn risers and found a huge crowd of fasting people. And I could not find a place to put my feet. those who were fasting days and continuing in the night. But I found many, and I did not find a place to put my feet, and I began slowly to move away until I left. I went to Mecca and began to make tawaf, circumambulating around the Kaaba for many years. With every pilgrim and with every visitor that comes there, I was making tawaf with every pilgrim for a long time, until I had a vision where I found myself standing before a similar door, with all those pilgrims standing in line before it, and I found no place to put my feet among all the pilgrims standing at that door, asking for it to open. In that vision, Allah showed me they were standing at the door crying, Labaik, Allahumma labaik, labaik, la sharika laka labaik, at your service, O our Lord, at your service. You have no partner, I am here at your service. They came from every farthest place, dressing in the pilgrim's unstitched garb, ihram, and coming to the house of God, beseeching him. I saw them at that door, and they were a huge crowd. So I withdrew. I didn't reach the divine presence of my Lord. That door never opened. Then God put me with those who were struggling against their lower selves, jihad and nafs. And I was struggling along with the others who struggled, sitting in their company, trying to reach as far as possible. And then I found myself at a similar door, with all of them standing there, carrying their spiritual swords against their egos. But there were too many of them, so I retreated. And I did not reach my Lord's divine presence. Then I realized this is not going to be the way, that there is something else destined for me. I went into the prayer niche of my room and I said, Oh my Lord, send your mercy on me. I am confused and I do not know what to do. Put me in a situation where there is no competition, as I cannot compete. Competition is difficult, for competing with others requires building up your arrogance to reach the goal you seek. SubhanAllah, that is so true. Applies to everything. Competition is difficult, for competing with others requires building up your arrogance to reach the goal you seek. I cried out to God, I cannot compete with all those different kinds of people we have mentioned already. Put me in a place where there is not too much competition, in a place where there is not too much traffic. Do not put me in a place where people have already surpassed me, been stronger than me, who move forward quickly, whom I cannot pass. I was asking with a burning heart, till I heard a voice saying, Oh, Biazid, no one can approach me without something that belongs to me, something that relates to me. You have come with something that does not relate to my qualities. The door of poverty. That means one must approach the divine presence by means of something that belongs only to creation, to human beings, something which is unbefitting Lordship, which God transcends utterly. I said, Oh Allah, what is that thing that is not for you, by which I can come to you with it? And you will not let anyone reach you without coming by its means. Teach me. And I heard a voice saying, Oh Biazid, there is nothing I am in need of from creation, and I have nothing to do with poverty. If anyone wants to come to me, then come to me through these attributes. I said, O Lord, show me these people of poverty and need, while you are in need, while you are not in need of them. God is the rich, al-Ghani, Fakhr. Poverty cannot be used to describe the Lord, only richness. He cannot be described with Fakhr, needfulness. One must come to the Lord through these characteristics. It is as if God is saying, prayers are for me, fasting is for me, extra worship is for me. You have to come to me through the attributes of creatures, the attributes of weakness, humility, and neediness. Only through such taste and experience can you approach me. I looked and I saw there are very few people standing at the door of poverty, and very few coming to their Lord through their need. I reached them and found them standing at the door, a door similar to the other doors, but their numbers were very few, and there was much space for me to stand there. So I was thinking, is that what is meant by poverty? Does neediness mean spiritual poverty or physical poverty? I saw no one by that door, so I realized neediness cannot be physical poverty, for there are many poor around the world. Rather, it is the spiritual poverty. I came crying, I am poor, oh my Lord. I am coming with complete helplessness to your door, not like the peacock scholars, not like the people of prayers, nor like the fasting people, nor like the pilgrims who come and write Hajj before their names. Of those, there are multitudes. God wants someone who throws everything to the side and comes to the Lord with poverty. Poverty here has two meanings. At the physical level, it means not carrying anything from this world, dunya. But people don't want to be poor. They always want to be rich. That is why the destitute don't approach God, for Shaitan is playing with their minds, saying, you have to be rich. SubhanAllah. You know, also this relates to what Jesus ﷺ said when it's more difficult for a rich man to enter heaven than it's more difficult for a rich man to pass through the eye of a needle than to enter heaven. It's more difficult for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven. It's, you know, there's a connection here. It doesn't literally mean that a person who has wealth can't enter heaven, but what it means, they can't be attached to that wealth. If the wealth is in the heart instead of the love of God, and of course it's not easy when you have so much wealth, especially that you work for, not to be attached to it, because you worked hard for it. At the spiritual level, it means coming to God in a state of utter helplessness, expressing utter humility and need, and utter dependence on God. This can only be achieved by those with utter purity of heart. I didn't find many at the door of poverty. I am happy now. There are not too many standing at this door. Then I heard a divine voice. Now you have to experience poverty. To express utter poverty is in theory only. Go and make yourself a dumpster to my servants. Carry their difficulties and their garbage. Poverty teaches humbleness. Homeless people go in garbage cans in streets, just like cats. They are happy with whatever they find. These homeless people, Allah gave them that no pride, no arrogance. They go and eat from the garbage, and Allah gives them immunity to all the illnesses from what is there. We cannot eat that. We are very delicate. If anyone ate from a spoon, we cannot eat from it. If anyone touched it, they can eat from it. These people are immune from all these sicknesses. Through experiencing poverty, Allah gives them immunity from sickness. And at the level of spirituality, immunity from shaitan. See how they go and find a piece of apple in the garbage, they clean it off and then eat it. It's as if God is saying, go and be a dumpster. Show your complete humbleness and poverty to me, then I will open my door. From that moment that I decided to be a dumpster for all human beings, and I gave my promise to my Lord that, oh Allah, I will come to you from poverty and weakness to you. From that moment, every movement became a karama, a miracle. No one can reach such miracles except someone who accepts to show weakness and helplessness and to show he is poor to his Lord and show patience on it. This shows us how much a perfect guide has to go through experiences in order to reach Allah's door. But Allah is free of all wants, and it is you that are needy. If you turn back from the path, He will substitute in your stead another people, and they will not be like you. Allah is rich, and you are poor. And if you are not happy to serve, Allah will take you away and replace you with another people. It is not up to you to accept. So Bayazid al-Bistami accepted that. And that is why he became a perfect guide. Spiritual poverty is what makes you reach your Lord through humility. Not with a head that is always up, but with a head that is always down. This is the importance of reaching a perfect guide, to guide you to that which is needed, that which is wanted from you, in order to reach a door similar to that which they reached before. You don't want to be waiting at a door where you cannot find space to put your feet. And while you observe the 5 pillars, that is not sufficient. Those doing Shahada were standing at the door of Shahada. Then those doing Salah were standing at the door of Salah. Those fasting stood at the door of fasting. Those who perform Hajj were standing at the door of pilgrimage. But these doors don't open. The only door that is accessible is the door of humility. May Allah help us and bless this meeting. Bi hurmati al-Fatiha. You see here, the point is, obviously all of these 5 pillars, they're all part of Islam. No one is saying that different to that. But if we just follow the 5 pillars, and we think that through our deeds and through perfecting these 5 pillars, that we become a better person and one who is going to be guaranteed paradise, this is arrogance. We don't know. Allah promised He would send a prostitute to heaven for giving water to a dog. A prostitute. This is in a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Said that Allah forgave a prostitute for giving water to a dog. Clearly, we're not talking about someone who has perfected their salah, perfected their fasting, or perfected their actions, or perfected anything. But they have a soft spot in their heart for that dog, and they just did what was necessary and gave the dog water from their shoe. They were humble. For this reason, Allah forgive them, even though their other actions are sinful and haram. The answer's there in our books, but few of us read. And even fewer understand. And this too is also why it helps to have a good guide. someone who is further down that path than you, someone who has reached something already, and someone who has something to be able to teach and pass on to you. If you find someone like this, treasure them. As I've treasured the guides who have brought me to where I am now. May Allah bless them all. Fatiha. بسم الله الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم. I hope you find that interesting, beneficial, and if you haven't already and you find these live broadcasts and videos useful, please subscribe to my Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube channels, and my website at paulusarmstrong.com, so you can be kept up to date with my latest broadcasts. I wish you all a very good evening and have a wonderful weekend. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of God be with you all.